This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everybody. We all have a story, and our stories kind of dictate where our life is going, where we've been, what's happening right now. And when I say the story, it's from your past. She has written a book I feel is amazing in that her story is very relatable to many of us and also holds clues to how this whole thing works, where what you experienced younger in life kind of dictates your future. The book is just published. And again, fantastic book. It's called Love, Light, and Healing. And this is what she does. She is a Reiki practitioner, a life coach. She has a high level of intuition, and she pilots your life forward based on what she's experienced and the things that she's learned. So great to have her with us. Katy Anderegg is on the program. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming back here and being transparent about your story in your book. And a lot of this, as I read the book, I'm not totally finished with it yet. I'm working on it. That's this weekend. As I go through the book, a lot of what you experienced earlier in life with your father, your parents, it seems that that did chart the course for later in your life. Would you say that's true?
Oh, definitely. My relationship to my dad actually was one of the biggest and most meaningful impacts on my life. My parents divorced when I was 2, and so he was actually out of my life for, I would say, most of it, unfortunately. And um, I kind of internalized that a lot because I felt like I had this deep connection with him, but I didn't know how to say that. I didn't know the words to say that. I just felt like I missed him a lot. I felt like he abandoned me. So there was a lot
Hmm.
of pain, a lot of anger, and it all manifested into my other relationships as well. Like it, how I connected with him was how I was connecting with everyone else, unfortunately. And it was not healthy. It was not good. I struggled in a lot of relationships. I blamed him for everything that I was feeling, all the hurt and the pain, because I couldn't understand why he left. I thought, like many kids do, like, what did I do wrong? What did I do?
Yeah.
And why isn't he wanting to see me? Like, he was away for years before I even heard anything from him. And so there was like no contact at all for quite a few years. And yeah, that really shaped how my relationships and affected my first marriage a lot. Well,
Hmm.
I don't talk about that in the first book, but it was pretty damaging.
I'm not, and this is has nothing to do with you per se. I'm not surprised. I
Yeah.
totally get it. And I've seen it. I experienced it even when when I was younger. I was married previously, and my ex had challenges with her father, and that came out in the relationship where he was abusive, and her comfortable spot would be uh, to be loud, and she thrived on conflict. And I'm
Right.
chill. I'm just, we'll work it out, no problem. And she would love to, and why? Because it's comfortable. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's right. It is right.
Right.
Who's to say what's right or wrong? That's right for you at that time, but maybe it doesn't support
Hmm.
later. And even I totally relate. My parents got divorced. I didn't see my dad a lot. He passed suddenly when I was 21. But I can say this: after he passed, I realized that we have a lot of the same likes, like the ocean, like the water. Now, fast forward many decades later, here I am. I'm living his life. I never
Yeah.
realized it. I look back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm him. And nothing wrong with that. But there was
Right.
a disconnect. And there was, I let's put it this way. And I want your feedback on this. I believe I'm not being negative here. We all grieve. We're all grieving. We
Mhm.
have things that, have challenged us along the way. Um, what's grieving? Loss.
Yeah.
So you
And,
probably,
any
yeah.
sort of attachment to anything, right? It can be anything. It can be an object, it can be a person, it can be a place. Um, yeah, we all grieve to some extent. Yeah.
So your your early life for all of us, I'm not going to say some of us, I'm going to say all of us, dictates how we roll now.
Yeah.
So how did what happened for you and how did you change it?
Yeah. So what happened for me was, um, well, as you'll learn in the book, my dad was healthy for all of his life and never really saw him sick, not even like a common cold. It was really kind of strange. He was just like always healthy. And then he fell ill. And this was at a period of time where I had broken off communication with him. So I got a random phone call one day and it dropped me to my knees to hear that he had a severe illness that was incurable. And it tore me apart because it brought all those feelings back that I buried and said goodbye to. Um, they were just tucked away, still festering within me,
Wow.
creating, just like an illness within myself. And yeah, the way to work through that for me was I had the choice of either learning about his illness and continuing not to talk to him or um, changing my decision, my thoughts, my perspective, and attempting to repair my relationship. I didn't know how what that was going to look like, how I was going to do that. It was very painful, but I chose to do that. I chose to reconnect with him, even though I'd gone through my whole life blaming him for everything. And, through the course of that, it's hard to explain in words like how you go about doing that. And now looking back at it, like it was a day by day process. I did a lot of crying, did a lot of journaling, um,
Mhm.
and just like really thinking through my feelings and starting to learn that everything, it didn't happen all before he passed away. There was a lot of healing that's been done afterwards too. Um, Learning that he also was hurt and he didn't know how to show me love and didn't want to hurt me more by being around me, you know? And so he kept me at a distance on purpose. And that's what I've learned now. And, it takes years, I think, to process something that hurts you so deeply. And it's a lifelong healing process. So, yeah.
Someone can never feel what you felt, but in a small way, I feel your pain.
Hmm.
Like when you said that he came down with that illness, I actually got goosebumps. Like it's it's almost as if the universe was saying, "Katie, hello. You need to sort of make amends because we're forcing this on you now, and now you have a
Hmm.
decision to make. Are you or you're not? And if you're not, will you always regret not reconnecting at that time? Are you happy that you did?"
Oh, I am so thankful that I did. We left things, I wouldn't say completely healed, but on a much more peaceful place. We were able to have our last conversation over the phone in a much more loving way.
Mm,
Because, we lived in different states. We still weren't able to connect all the time, but
yep.
the conversation had shifted to more respectful, more open, more caring, more meaningful conversation about family. And yeah, it's
Mm.
the last time I talked to him was about a week before he had passed away. And, we'll always remember that conversation. And it was just so short and simple. It was only few minutes long, but yeah, it was, we both said I love you for the last time, and I just continued on with my day. And I got a phone call later that he had passed away, and yeah, I'm really thankful that I did, because it helps me forgive, when we have that forgiveness for others and for ourselves,
Mm.
um, it helps you move along in life. We still carry a little bit of that grief because we miss them. Now they're not around anymore.
Yeah.
But I still believe that I have connected with him after he's passed. I have moments where he's been around me, and it's just loving, peaceful, happy, and feel like I can talk to him more now than I ever was able to before. So yeah, it was
I completely get what you're saying. And I
yeah,
don't have that spiritual energetic connection with him. I'm working on it, but my mom passed 6 years ago. I'm as close as I was, and everything was great. And she passed away suddenly, but they're natural causes. Um, I feel connected to her. I talk to her every day, and she sends me signs, and they're very specific. I think we maybe mentioned that in the past.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
it's real. And I know people will hear this and think, oh, it's a little woo, you guys. You're just looking for something. No, I just lean back and send me something specific. And I, don't get them every day, but when I get them, they are spot on. There's a chapter in your book called What If Nothing Was Random?
yeah, yeah. The synchronicities of life, right?
Hmm.
And what if nothing was random is kind of a fun chapter. It just talks about, you know, nothing is random in your
No,
life. Whatever you come across, even the most seemingly insignificant things have their meaning and their purpose for you. Um, and it's meant for you. Again, it's whether you're paying attention or not. Um, Synchronicity doesn't always mean just the good things. It can mean the challenging things too, because of the energy that we hold within, we are projecting out into the universe, and that's what comes back to us. And so everything really is synchronicity. It's just a matter of what frequency you're wanting to live in. Are you wanting to live in the lower frequencies of anger, frustration, and the other more negative sounding emotions, even though none of them are bad, I believe that they all have their place and purpose and teaching us something.
hmm.
um and so yeah, what if nothing was random is because nothing really is random.
I have to agree, and I'm not agreeing to agree, but after the journey, which continues as all of our journeys do, I see it. And back to dad. So a little more than a year and a half ago, I joined this men's group, and it's to support men, it's leadership, it's camaraderie, it's community service. And somebody suggested I join. I was like, I'm not doing that. That's not for me. And then finally, I went to a meeting. And at that meeting, they said, well, we have this retreat coming up. It's in 2 weeks. It's on the other side of the country. And I'm like, Now I'm an hour into the meeting. And I was thinking, I need to get the blank out of here. I need a getaway. And I've never done this before. So I'm like, I'll go. I'm in. I put the credit card number down. I signed up for it right there. I'm like, did I just join a cult? What the hell am I doing? It wasn't.
Yeah.
Flew across the country, 3 day weekend, teachings, learnings, insight, everything. And there was one part of it where you're tasked with forgiving your dad.
Mm.
And we only go by our last names to honor your father. But it was a moment where, make amends. What did he teach you? Be grateful for that. Why am I sharing this story? Nothing is random. The day I was leaving, the last day of that retreat, it dawned on me. That was his birthday.
Oh, huh.
Random? It's not.
Right. Yeah.
This is,
Right. It's a
and you know what?
meaningful. Yeah.
I forgot his date of birth decades later. You know what I mean? It's not on my radar. Um, and even the day he passed, that month and year, um, or the month and the day, came back last year, and there was very much significance in that. That was another nugget that came my way. If you're open, you're going to see these things, and they're
Yeah.
not random.
No, they're not. No, they're not. And even when we're not paying attention, I would say things are still not random. Like the universe is always trying to get our attention in one way or another. And, if we ignore the signs that we're receiving, they're going to be maybe subtle at first, and then, they start getting a little bigger. They'll remind you from time to time. It may go away and then come back.
Mhm.
And then eventually it's going to plow you in the face.
Yeah, yeah.
It's going to get your attention one
Well,
way or another if
yeah,
you
the
don't
universe,
pay
either it's a
attention.
lesson or whatever it is. And I just want a disclaimer here. You and I are talking about our fathers. We're not, we're not beating on that here. It's just a coincidence. It could be your mom. It could be another, it could, whatever you experience as a child. So, question about one of the later chapters in your book, co-creating your reality.
Yeah.
Do you believe that everything around us, right here, everything that's around us right now, we created it?
Yeah. Yeah. I do believe that. And it took me a long time to figure that out because I used to think life was happening to me. Things were not working out my way. I was blaming the universe a little bit, kind of mad sometimes that I wasn't getting the job I wanted or enough money or, whatever it was that I was whining about.
Mm,
Um, I do believe we have it within us to create our reality from moment to moment. We don't know what's going to happen from even 10 seconds from now. Like it literally is moment to moment that we are here, and being more present allows us to enjoy that and take more intention and control over how we expend our energy, how we're feeling, how we respond. So I believe that, yeah, we create
mm.
our own reality. We don't
I,
even know what's going to happen tomorrow,
we
even
don't,
though we might be planning for it. But
but
yeah,
we worry about it. We
we
think about
do.
the past. The past is gone. Doesn't exist. I'm sorry. It doesn't exist. There was some learning and teaching from that. The future doesn't exist. Doesn't happen
Right.
here. There's
Yeah.
nobody I know on the planet, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm missing this, let me know, that can tell us with 100% certainty what is going to happen in the future. Nobody knows.
No.
It's here. That was my greatest lesson in this journey of learning a lot of what your book is about. And it was 5 years ago. And I met somebody that just appeared when they needed to appear. And I'm fully convinced. And, I was only connected with them for maybe 5 months. And we just said, friends, hung out every once in a while. The message was, why don't you ever live in the moment? Why are you always thinking about the past, the future? Why? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then months later, maybe a year, it started coming clear of all of this. Joe Vitale, the man that's featured in the movie The Secret,
Okay.
his belief is that if you want something, you want to manifest it, whatever you're creating in your mind shows up in 3 days. 3 days. Now, it doesn't.
No,
Why doesn't it?
because we have to be in alignment with who we are authentically, what our life purpose is, right? We kind of, that catches a lot of people off guard, but manifestation isn't just thinking about something and it's going to happen. Yes, a lot of times it does. It can be that simple because our thoughts and beliefs do have power in creating. And so we do need to be mindful of those things. but it's also what your divine plan is, what your purpose is here on earth that is part of that manifestation. So I believe we all have, this is going to sound strange, another woo-woo thing, but it's spiritual. We all have like a soul contract that we come to earth here with. And mine, I've learned, is about relationships. So connecting with people and really working on healing a lot of things, walking through fear and finding courage and helping, being of service. So that means getting over a lot of my own crap, right? And seeing people for who they are,
Mhm.
even through all the imperfections that we all have, right? And so that's part of my purpose. I don't know if I'm meant to be a millionaire. I don't know if I'm meant to live on a beach or an island, those desirable things that we all might want. I'm not here to have the latest and greatest technology, maybe. Um, some people are. Some
Mhm.
people really are. That's part of their life. We're here to enjoy and explore, create, but it is maybe doing the inner work to see what is meant for you, because what's meant for you will come to you, and what isn't won't. It'll fall away.
I, I have to agree, and I'm not agreeing to agree.
Sure.
And we think we know what we want.
You think you
Yes,
do.
I have a vision board. Everything you just described, it's on
Yeah.
my vision board right over there. Um, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what I should have. The universe knows more. The soul contract thing, I'm on your page with that. I'm not really sure what my theme of that contract is. I have some ideas, and,
Mhm.
and with the concept of what you dream and manifest typically shows up in 3 days, and why it doesn't. We have so much, lack of a better description, garbage in our subconscious from our childhood that we're dealing with. We don't even know it's there. That's what's holding us back from all of that.
Oh yeah.
And I thought about this even last night. When you manifest, a lot of us are like, "Oh, I want that house and millions of dollars, and that's coming my way." Well, guess what? By saying that, you were talking about the future. The future doesn't exist.
Mhm.
So why not say it's here now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's here. It's already here.
Yeah.
It's at the end of my fingertip. I just, waiting for it to knock on the door, whatever it is. Um, because
Yeah.
I manifest things, some of them have shown up. Some of them I needed to be more specific on.
Hmm.
Right, exactly what I was looking for, but close. Um, your book, it is the keys to change.
Yeah. Yeah, and I provide some steps to help work through the fears. I believe that's a big part of why I'm here is to help people understand, like, yeah, we go through crap. We all do. We go through some really horrible things sometimes, and my heart goes out to those people. And but there is a way out. And unfortunately, sometimes those challenges are meant to happen for us to learn from, for us to make amends, for us to work through karma uh, and grow as a spiritual being. So yeah, unfortunately, we do have to go through some pretty harsh, horrible things
Mm.
sometimes, but it's not meant to be a punishment. I want
Final
to get
final
that
question.
across. Yeah,
Final question. Are we here to learn?
yeah. I have read and heard from so many people, and I agree that Earth is a big school. If you think of it as a big university, a school, we are all here learning. And when we understand that we are learning, if we internalize that, then we can extend that grace to somebody else that they are also learning, even though they may be murdered, they may be stole, punished. hurt somebody just so horribly, um, you know, we can extend that grace, hopefully, with a little less judgment that they too are going through things that they are meant to learn from. And when it all comes together, it can look like a big, messy, chaotic ball, but that's part of the healing process. That is how healing happens. We have to get all the gunk out of the wound in order to cleanse and let it heal.
You have a cut. What are you supposed to do? You have to clean it.
Yeah.
Make sure there's no bacteria, no gunk in it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have an infection. There's gunk in there. You got to clear it out. But eventually it heals. And
Yeah.
I believe we're here to learn and create. Create. If we weren't creation, we wouldn't be here because we create ourselves. But it seems like you've learned in your journey, and then you created this wonderful book called Love, Light, and Healing. And I have to tell you, I've read a lot. I've done thousands of podcasts on this stuff. I've learned from people like you. In this book, you have made all of this so easy to understand with compassion. And it's all in the book. I'm telling you. It's like every time I go to the next chapter, well, yeah, I learned that too. Yeah, but now I got more depth on that. Available on Amazon now?
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. It means a lot. Yes, it's available on Amazon.com/author/Katy Anderegg, Katy with a Y. Yeah.
All I have to do is read just the chapter titles alone as I'm scrolling right here. And it says what I've learned or wondered over validated things that just by reading the chapters. And that's just a starting point. Dig into the book. And of course, you do energy healing and also coaching as well. And what's your website?
It is intuitivehealingsllc.com.
Thank you for these podcasts. Thank you for your insight and just an amazing book. And if the universe says so, we will be getting together again in the future.
Okay. Sounds
Well, the
great.
future doesn't exist.
Right. But, things that are meant to be will be.
Agreed. All right. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here.
Okay, thank you.
We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.